Well, our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, Biden campaign co-chair claims that this is the main reason that Joe Biden was pushed out of the 2024 race. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours in around 10 minutes. Our top story today from Mike LaChance is that Biden campaign co-chair claims this is the main reason that Biden was pushed out. People will be talking about Joe Biden's exit from the 2024 presidential election for decades, maybe even centuries. It hasn't happened since LBJ decided not to run for re-election, and in that case, it was entirely his own decision. There has already been tons of speculation about the main reason why this happened, and people have cited Biden's health, his mental deterioration, the polls, and his awful debate performance in June. If you listen to his campaign co-chair, Cedric Richmond, however, it all came down to just one thing: the money. According to Richmond, once the big Dem donors shut off the cash flow, Biden was doomed. Biden campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond explained what really forced Biden out. Big donors bailed on him. They created a self-fulfilling prophecy by failing to contribute after the June 27th debate. And he said on CNN following Biden's bombshell announcement, "You can't win without money." And then when they are going to point the finger at the candidate, they were going to blame it on Biden, he added. For a president that has accomplished so much, it was a no-win situation. Now that they successfully pushed Biden out of the race, Richmond said it's time for those donors to step the F up and support Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign. So far, it appears they are. So we now know who really runs the Democrat Party. It's the people with the cash. People like George Clooney run the party. That's not really true, but it's people like AIPAC, people like George Soros. And aside, Cedric Richmond was the guy who insisted that Biden was staying in the race. He was on board right up until the end. Who can blame him for being bitter today? Now, obviously, I got to be careful on this kind of information because I don't want to say anything out of line with the network. But, you should look into who controls the cash flow in American politics. There's a lot of big players involved, a lot of countries. Some countries are more notable than others, and some players are more manipulative and more directly involved. Some, like Thomas Massie said, even give handlers to our politicians to control them. Our next story from the GatewayPundit.com, Christina Lila reports that an appeals court deals a blow to Jack Smith in a classified documents case. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals responded to Jack Smith's bid to appeal Judge Cannon's decision to dismiss the classified documents case against President Trump. The appeals court provided a schedule that requires Trump and Jack Smith to file briefs through October, Politico reported. Jack Smith's chances of reviving the case will not happen before the election after all the legal briefs are filed and the court hears oral arguments. Politico reported that special counsel Jack Smith's bid to revive the classified documents case against Donald Trump appears unlikely to be resolved or even argued in court before Election Day. Smith is appealing U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon's decision last week to dismiss the case, in which the former president is charged with hoarding national security secrets at Mar-a-Lago after he left office. The federal court that will hear his appeal, the Atlanta-based 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, laid out a schedule Thursday that requires Smith and Trump to file legal briefs through mid-October. After all the briefs are in, the court will also likely hear oral arguments with a decision weeks or potentially months after that. Special counsel Jack Smith on Wednesday appealed Judge Cannon's decision to toss the classified documents case. Cannon on Monday dismissed Jack Smith's classified case based on unlawful appointment and funding of special counsel. The charges waged against Trump and his co-defendants Walt Nuada and Carlos de Oliveira were all tossed. Jack Smith indicted Trump on 37 federal counts in Miami in June 2023 for lawfully storing presidential records at his Mar-a-Lago estate, which was protected by Secret Service. And we know now that it's tossed out, look, this has all been lawfare, and it's been rather disgusting. To see these updates, it's like, how close were we not only to Trump being in federal prison this election, but having his literal brains blown out? Don't forget where we could have been, and technically where we still are. In our next story, a rather interesting take, archaeologists just discovered a sensational discovery at a site where Christ was resurrected. Archaeologists in Israel have made a sensational discovery at the site where Christ was resurrected. Construction workers at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem discovered a long-lost medieval altar that historians previously believed had been destroyed in a fire back in 1808. Believing they were simply repositioning a graffiti-covered stone slab, the workers discovered it was actually adorned with ribbon-like carvings, a typical Roman decorative method from medieval times. The marble pieces, weighing several tons, had been placed in a publicly accessible hallway at the church's rear, also marked by graffiti. Local scholars have dated the altar to 1149 based on its unique inscriptions. An Australian team from the Academy of Sciences described the findings as sensational. Firstly, the fact that a slab could have remained hidden for so long in such an intensely researched building as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, especially as it was a view of thousands of pilgrims and tourists every day, the team wrote. The altar was designed in the style of the technique originating from the Cosmati family. I guess it's the Cosmatesque style, renowned for the multi-generational stoneworking tradition. A mark of papal prestige, the style was involved assembling small, repurposed marble fragments from older structures into intricate geometric designs. The sole surviving examples of the Cosmatesque work outside of Italy is located in London's Westminster Abbey, created by an artist sent by the Pope. It is altar now rediscovered in Jerusalem, must also have been created with the Pope's blessing, the researchers explained. By sending one of the Cosmatesque masters to the Kingdom of Jerusalem to make the new high altar in Christianity's holiest church, the pontiff supported Christianity's claim to the city. And it's still contested to this day. I don't know who you think has the right to the city, but I think that it is Christianity because really we are the true religion. I know there's many people of all faiths that follow this show or this network. And so if you disagree with me, I'm all respectful of you having a different opinion. I'd love to hear it down below. The Gateway Pundit also reported that nearly 1 hour of never-before-seen 9/11 World Trade Center collapse footage surfaces after 23 years. The uploader says that he found his tapes while cleaning the closet. It's interesting. People say that it's showing explosions out the side, like a controlled demolition, while others say that's just reflected glass. A chilling new video of the World Trade Center towers collapsing on September 11, 2001, following terrorist suicide attacks has surfaced online, shedding fresh light on one of the darkest days in American history. Kai Sugimoto, a Japanese American who was 24 years old at the time, has released a nearly 1 hour never-before-seen video on his YouTube channel. Sugimoto was a mainframe operator at the time at Nisho Iwa Soji when the terrorist attacks occurred. He used a Sony VX2000 with a teleconverter to capture the harrowing moments, according to his YouTube description. On July 2022, Sugimoto first released a 6-minute video on his YouTube channel revealing the footage for the first time. In the video's description, he wrote, this was filmed. When asked why he decided to release the footage after 23 years, he explained, I was cleaning my closet and found boxes full of high 8, digital 8, and DV tapes. When trying to play them back, I noticed that maybe about a third of them had demagnetized over time and were either blank or suffering from major data corruption. After researching online, I learned that videotapes are not immune from age when they stored in ideal conditions, so I fractionally started to digitize them. Thus, I'm just uploading the video now, he added. The video was captured after 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. I saw the second plane crash, but did not film it on my camera. If I remember correctly, I think I ran to get my video camera after seeing the second plane crash, sensing that this was no ordinary accident. And you can watch the footage there. It's about 6 minutes long, directly on our site. Lastly, it's more of a sad news for the individual and his family, but one more warning to Americans about what actually happened with these deadly clot shots. A journalist who criticized Aaron Rodgers for his views on COVID-19 vaccines dies unexpectedly at 43, Jim Hoff reports. Matt Driscoll, a 43-year-old columnist and opinion editor for the News Tribune, died unexpectedly at his Tacoma home this Sunday. Driscoll's death was announced by his news network. We've lost a friend and beloved colleague, but Tacoma and Pierre County have lost someone who never stopped caring. Washington Governor Jay Inslee also paid tribute to Driscoll on social media. Tacoma still has the Rainers and Narrows Bridge, but our city of destiny has a hole in our hearts at the loss of Matt Driscoll. What a big heart and an insightful pen he gave us. I miss him already, wrote Inslee. Driscoll described himself as the Johnny Appleseed of white guilt and or Perez Hilton or Pierce County on social media accounts, according to Northwest. Reporter Shay Johnson remembered him as approachable and down to earth. Driscoll reportedly suffered an apparent medical emergency from which he could not be revived. It was reported that he had received a COVID-19 vaccination. He'd also been vocal about NFL star Aaron Rodgers' controversial views on COVID-19 vaccines. He accused Rodgers of engaging in performance art after the later warned people about the potential side effects of mRNA vaccines. Rodgers repeated popular conspiracy theories about COVID vaccines, cited a number of discredited sources, and claimed that he was being canceled and censored for doing his own research. I swear to God, it's like performance art at this point. Well, unfortunately for him, his performance has come to a close. And so is the show. If you like this program, don't forget to subscribe and support us directly at thegatewaypundit.com, or you can subscribe to our Rumble account, where The Gateway Pundit. I'm Elijah Schaffer. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.